Back when you could have clubs downtown.
Back in
Didn't they just close down like a really famous honky tonk in Houston, like because it got too close to a school or something like that?
I haven't followed that.
Okay,
Couldn't tell you.
I'll ask my sister about it. She I think I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
But my background has been, working in small businesses, running them, making money for other people. And COVID, Big Texas was a casualty of COVID. And
is that what got it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, man.
Yeah. Well, if it hadn't been for that, I'd still be a W-2 employee.
There you go.
Okay.
So what I do now is I can do coaching, consulting. I can build you a digital presence. All the stuff I learned doing it for a small business for other people, I can help other people do now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So for the Contractor Network, I built out the website, which don't judge me by that one. That was a quick job. We're still working on it.
All right.
But build websites, I've spent other people's money to the tune of probably $750,000 running digital campaigns over the past 10 years. So
okay.
For small businesses, that's, for like a Walmart or something, that's a month. But
so are you doing this under your name, or do you have a name for the business?
Well, I have Chris Chelli Coaching.
Okay, yeah,
which is to be determined if we're going to stick with that or not. But,
all right,
but it's a starting point.
Yeah, for sure.
I've bounced a few other ideas around, but my job is to help people win. That's all I want to do.
Nice. And so what all is entailed in that? I mean, like you said, building out a digital presence. I mean, what other kind of are there other things that you do as far as like helping people grow their business? I mean, do you sit down and do like one-on-ones with them? What's I guess what I'm asking is kind of what is the onboarding process for you? It
is tailor-made. There is no process because it's tailor-made to you.
Okay.
Whatever the client needs. I've got a client that has me helping him with websites, live music booking, and building his company out. Leadership is one of my strong suits.
Okay.
Something that I've read a lot about, learned a lot about, and done for a long time. I'm still in the beginning phases of finding that niche that sticks for me. But at the end of the day, I'm just here to help.
Cool. I mean, are there certain kinds of businesses that you're looking to work with more? I mean, are you kind of targeting like service businesses or what?
I would say anything that's a small business.
Okay.
Anything, and anyone that has employees, anyone that has challenges, and anybody that's frustrated and just feels like they don't have a partner.
Yeah.
Call me up. I'll be your partner.
I mean, that's interesting because I think a lot of businesses feel that way all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, when you own a small business, there's always something that you're going, man, if I could just figure that thing out, then I might be able to do this, that, or the other, right? Like, and even if you're not like in dire straits, like, it's like counseling, right? Like I tell people, everybody should be in counseling. It's not because you're all screwed up, it's just because sometimes you need someone to talk to. Sometimes you need someone to listen to, right?
No, you are.
You're probably screwed up anyway. But
we
it's
all
not.
are.
That's
yeah.
right.
But I mean, there's a stigma behind counselors because it's like, well, you only go to counselor whenever you're messed up, and it's like, well, if you're proactive about things, you go to a counselor in order to keep things moving and be healthy, right? So I kind of hear what you're saying with the consulting side of things. Is like, look, let's talk about your business, figure out where your weak parts are, let's get those strengthened, and if something else starts going down, we'll work on that. And it's just kind of and I know that it's not an ongoing process for most people, but I think it should be.
Yeah.
I think if there's a way to do like an ongoing, like retainer consulting, that would be amazing,
And with the clients I have, I do have that deal with some of them.
Awesome.
More or less.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at like, they have, I don't even know, like chaplains for small businesses now.
Yeah.
Like not even small, but for big, huge, massive businesses even. Like there are chaplains who will come in and just work with the employees. And I think that like consulting, if you're doing that with the leaders, like the business owners, with the administration, with whoever it is, like that could be huge.
It all ties together. Counselors, pastors, coaches, therapists, whatever you want to call it. Everybody's doing the same thing. They're helping you get from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah.
and getting through those roadblocks that inevitably you put up yourself. That's one of my things. I put a Facebook post up on my personal page a few months ago, and I said, here's a comprehensive list of all the people that have held me back, kept me from going where I want to go, and, done me wrong in the past. And then I did ... and then it was my name at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so true.
It's about taking responsibility and knowing that you're the one that's going to make the difference.
So how much of that of what you do is mindset? How much of mindset shifting do you do?
That's all of it. I mean,
it's so much of it. Has to be.
I mean, I wouldn't say 100% because, I'm still helping people with technical things like setting up LLCs and, I was helping a guy set up an LLC through one of those platforms. It wasn't LegalZoom, but it was like that.
Yeah.
And it gets to the part of, all right, would you like us to process your federal tax ID? It's only an extra $149. And he's like, yeah, have him do that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You go to the IRS website and do that for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah.
Click a few buttons, right?
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know, and
That's
if you've
right.
never done that before,
that's exactly it.
You're
So-
scared because it's like, I need somebody to do that for me. Just because you just want to get rolling with whatever it is that you're doing. You don't want to have to worry about all that nonsense.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. So I think what you're doing, man, is something that a lot of people are really hungry for. I just started reading this new book, which, by the way, I have a goal of I can read a lot of books in the year, but I listen to them.
Yeah.
So, but my goal this year is to actually physically read through 18. I'm still going to continue to listen to books, but physically read through. And I just started my second one, which was Think Like a Horse.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one?
I have not.
So I hadn't either. My dad actually gave it to me, and it's this cowboy, and I think he's in Colorado, but he for years and years and years he breaks horses. That's what he's always done since he was a kid. He'd break horses, and he had somebody change the way that he thought about breaking horses. And he and his wife were running a ranch, and I think this was in the early to mid 90s. They were just doing their thing at the ranch, and Microsoft reached out to him and said, "Hey, we're going to be in Colorado. Could you put on a rodeo for our team? We'd love to come and experience a real rodeo." And he goes, "Yeah, sure, no problem. We can do that for you." And because they threw gobs and gobs of money at him to put this full
Microsoft,
production on.
yeah.
And he goes, "Well, I decided that since we're going to do the rodeo, I would go ahead and do a demonstration with them with a wild Mustang, and show them kind of how I do my thing." And he said he has never been in the horse breaking business since, because he goes, thousands and thousands of CEOs and CFOs and COOs and owners and operators and all come to him to do a demonstration on how to break a horse. And he says whatever it is that I'm showing people about horses is transforming the way that they think about people and management and how things happen in their lives. And he goes, they can't get enough of it. And so I'm just in the beginning of this book, but he's kind of going through here's what it is that I think people are seeing in me watching work with these horses that they're taking away and then telling their friends, saying, "Hey, you've got to go see this guy and watch what he does." And I'm very familiar with the way that he works with the horses. The system that he uses, and it's a very cool system. Because most people think of it as being sort of violent and there's a lot of bucking and gnashing of teeth and all this kind of stuff. But it's actually super cool and very calm. And just in the few chapters I've started with, he said people walk away crying because they didn't know that they could influence people, because they're watching him do this to the horse. They didn't know that you could approach people that way,
Right.
with the way that he's doing. And so like what you're talking about, it's just a complete flip in mindset of how you have been doing things versus how you could be doing things.
And you just reminded me, God, probably about 15 years ago, I was reading a lot about dog behavior.
Okay.
And what you're saying is resonating a lot with me because dogs are black and white.
Yeah.
It's yes and no, and I think most animals are that way. Us humans have all this complicated brain, and we get to think for ourselves, and all this stuff other animals can't do. But when you break it down, we're all we all started the same.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
and I don't want to say managing people is like training dogs, but it's not far off.
No,
Yeah.
it's not. It's not. I mean, like there's a lot of comparable skills in there.
Sure.
Absolutely.
There's another book that's really good, and I don't know if you've got this on your list, but it's called Soundtracks. I heard of Soundtracks.
I hadn't heard of that one. Who wrote it?
I'm blanking on who wrote it right
Okay.
now, but I'll find it and I'll let you know. But it's all about the things that you play in your head, right?
Yeah.
The things that run through your mind. Because I mean, for so many of us, like we think, like I want to go do that, but it's like, but what if? What if that happens, or what if this happens? It's like, well, how would you know if that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Like,
is it sort of addressing self-talk?
it is in many
Yeah.
ways. Yeah, and that kind of stuff, like that gets to all of us. I mean, there are going to be people who wanted to be here at this networking group thing tonight, and they're going to go, I don't know how to talk to people, or I don't. What if someone, what if no one talks to me?
Right.
You know, or what if I say something and I say it wrong? Right? Like there's all this stuff that goes through your mind. It's like you're playing a soundtrack in your head that is not the soundtrack that you need to be listening to.
Yeah.
So
And
it's good stuff.
so many books on that
is.
exact subject. One I'm reading now, I just looked at it. My audio book. I usually have an audio book,
Yep.
a paper book, and a Kindle book. I'll go in at the same time. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Joe Dispenza.
Ooh.
It's very interesting, but it's all about conquering. There's a lot of physiology. Is physiology the right word?
We'll find out.
It's the first part of the book is him giving the, you're talking about mindset and how. What was the title of the book you just talked? Soundtracks. So the soundtracks you play in your mind, how you'll manifest whatever you keep playing in your mind.
Yeah.
And in one of the books I just finished, and again, the titles aren't coming to me right now, but the quote was, I can't guarantee the positive thinking will work 100% of the time, but I will guarantee you that negative thinking will work 100% of the time.
That's good.
So, but this book, the one that I just said, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, he starts with the science behind why the brain works that way. And I haven't finished it yet, but it's going into meditations and how to change your neural pathways through meditation to what's the word I'm looking for? These lights are so bright.
All thanks to iPro.
That's right.
Justin. But to change your neural pathways to erase not erase your past, but erase the ways you think that have got you to where you are, which are keeping you from where you want to be.
Okay.
Best way I can put it.
Yeah.
Now I'll shut up so you guys can get to more
No,
guests.
no, it's good.
I was going to ask you. I mean, like you're a coach, and I think books are probably a way that you kind of like feed yourself. Are there any other things that you do for yourself to kind of keep you informed, keep you inspired, to help your clients?
Well, reading, obviously, podcasts.
What are you listening to these days?
Podcast-wise?
Yeah.
I like Rob Dial's Mindset Mentor.
Okay.
Not sure if you've heard of that one. He claims it's a top 100 podcast in the world, but good for him.
Sure, yeah. Could be.
And then when I'm at the gym, I listen to, I think his name's Eddie Pinero. He does YouTube videos. It's just motivational the whole way through. So just, he tells a lot of his own stories, but
Right.
just getting you through those, getting you over those humps. I mean, because God knows I have them too.
Yeah. No, and sometimes you just need the kick in the pants.
That's it. But,
yeah. Awesome.
But yeah,
Cool.
motivational videos, whatever it takes to get you going.
Cool. Well, Coach
Awesome.
Chris, thank you for sitting down with us, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, if people want to reach out to you, they need a coach. How do they get a hold of you?
You can find me at chrischelli.com. Again, don't judge me by that website. I threw it up just so I'd have a
So you got
have a place to go. But yeah, that's one way to reach me, and I'll be working on that one.
Fantastic.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Good
All right,
talking
have
with
a
you,
good
bud.
one. Bye.